Wow, thanks, Connor. My microphone was indeed muted. What's up, Helltrix? What's up, NetS? That was a big prank. You can tell I'm real sleepy. Wow. Well, anyways, I'll just repeat everything I was saying for the past couple of minutes. So, this is my Mapcraft submission. Famous last name. It's actually the third map number 3 of a campaign I'm working on. And that's not because the first 2 maps are done and ready to go. It's just because this is the map that I didn't know as much about compared to the other 2. And I wanted to I wanted an excuse to work on it, so here we are. Hey, what's up, Cutalisk? So, for this particular map, I was thinking about which AIs I'm going to do in which order. There's a couple of terrain issues that still need to be resolved, but I'm saving those for the very end, and we may not even get to those before the end of the contest, so we might have to update the map afterwards. Outside of those tile issues, and hopefully eventually I can get some ramps and stuff from a DF, but I don't have any idea when that would be. Our plans are pretty much just to get some work done on the outline of this mission, complete the outline, place a bunch of resource areas, figure out where all of the bases are going to be, get all the ramps out, and basically complete the pathways and all that. And so if I can do all that, then I'll be a happy camper. In addition to that, we could probably start on some of the AI. I also have to start on the dialogue script at some point. This is going to be a very silly map for sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else occurs as a result. So now that we've gotten the muting out of the way, let's place some backwards ramps that are terrible and need to be replaced. Looking good. Man. What a mess. Okay. Helltrix, you gotta do, listen, at least your terrain is done. I'll put it to you that way. I'm in no position to talk shit, because I have clearly do not have much done. So I'm in a very similar boat. Oh, you know what? I was also thinking of adding... there's not a lot of maneuverability if I do that, so we'll just add one extra layer. And then we'll add a ramp there. I should get a brush or something for this. Didn't I have a... No, I'll just use this one, I guess. Oh, you know what? I guess we can use this. Perfect. So how's everybody doing today? Well, as fancy as mine is, I don't know if the map will be finished. So that should show you exactly how well put together my time management was this past week. But this is a new week. We are entering into a new realm. we shall be victorious. And we're doing pretty well, thanks. What do you do for work, Cutulus, if you don't mind me asking? Alright, we'll expand that out a little bit. Just so that we have enough room. So you're a financial sector guru to some degree. Talk about fancy words that your clientele pretend to understand and they just nod. They're like, yeah, that. Or do you deal with more enlightened individuals? Oh, okay. So you got an even funner job in that respect. You get to expose the seedy underbelly of the sector of your realm. Okay. Boy, we got ourselves some ramps around here. If you ever need any ramps, you know who to call. Got my bridge. Perfect. Oh, here we go. I found it. I did it. Yeah. I can't say you're wrong there, man. I am in a very privileged position where I get to pretty much just do what I like. Day in and day out. Barring any familial silliness. And in the spirit of Mapcraft, people can look at that. Looking good. I'll try and shore that up a little bit, because that's... I don't know if I can handle looking at that. There we go. Perfect. Oh man, how can I ever live with myself? There was one other that was over here. Let's do it this way, I guess. What did I do for that? Oh, okay. Done. Finished. I guess I can use the old cliffs for that. If I can find them. Oh. Found the boys. Now check that out. That's a blend. StarCraft's premier custom content creator deploys new ramp. The signs of our time. Oh, no. Alright, so we got a functional layout anyway. I was thinking about maybe doing a reverse one over here, but it's probably fine. It's like kind of a long corridor to walk with your units. Yeah, maybe we'll do a small one. Doesn't have to be enormous, but something that's symmetrical-ish with our ramp there, our bridge. I am kind of quietly satisfied with the way that the bridge wound up being. This platform catwalk thing, this high platform to catwalk bridge, that came out pretty well, I think, even though it was nothing particularly special in terms of what it took to make. Alright. Perfect. Alright, so the player and their AI ally will be deploying here. They'll start out with these forces. They're going to be Zerg in the bottom right and in the bottom left areas. Their allies may be here if I decide to put them in. You got the Dominion who are going to start here. And then there's going to be another Dominion force arriving over there. Protoss will start here. Really, the map feels a little congested towards the bottom side. But I think that that's going to benefit the player. So the player's objective in this mission is to kill both of the Zerg AIs and one of the other sides of the battle. So either both Dominion players or just the Protoss. And the Protoss are obviously going to be pretty strong by themselves, since they're meant to be equal in that sense to two enemy, like two Dominions, which are on the same team, of course. So we're going to have a bunch of expansions all over the map, and your objective in this 2v, 2v, 1v1 that turns into a 3v, 2v, 2v1, if all the AIs are deployed anyway. Yeah, that's going to be your objective, is to wipe the Zerg and then one of the other teams, per se, one of the other sides. And you can engineer that in any number of ways. Like, one of the things that I was thinking of is, I'm kind of concerned that based on the number of free-for-all matchups in this particular map, you're going to have, like, the Dominion and the Protoss fighting each other. You're going to have, you know, obviously the Zerg also fighting everybody. That's just on the face value. If you and your allies are sort of, like, contained, say, by the Dominion, and then they wipe out the Protoss, and you've already wiped out the Zerg, that will still technically be a victory in that sense. And I don't want to, like, control for that, because I feel like that would be disingenuous. Like, oh, you were the one who had to get the killing blow on the last Tal'Darim structure, so you don't get it. You don't get victory. Bye. Like, now you guys still got to kill the Dominion or something. I feel like that would be cheap. Any way that I could come up with to, like, set that up feels disingenuous to me. And so rather than worrying about that, I think what I will do instead is just reveal, like, have a location that centers on the last structure owned. Like, if the Protoss player only owns one structure, center a location on that structure. And if that structure, like when that structure then dies, it'll create a map revealer at that location so that you can see like the wreckage of that last structure, or it wouldn't be structure, it'd be like production structure, so gateway or a Stargate or something. And so you'll see the wreckage of that. Presumably there'll be like pylons and other stuff near it that are still under attack. And you'll get a map revealer and a transmission from that area, and ideally players will look over there themselves. But it's not going to yank the camera away from them in case they're in the middle of combat, of course. And you'll have some sort of a conversation, some sort of transmission where, like, in this case, the Protoss would be like, "Oh, I can't, like, we've got to retreat, blah, blah, blah." Like, whatever they happen to say at that point, right? And so that way, even if the player isn't responsible for, like, directly responsible, or the player's team isn't responsible, like, they don't have vision of it or whatever, it'll still track the position of where that structure was and reveal that area, so you can see that last, like, the last bastion of the Protoss fall, and it feels a little bit more organic than them just suddenly, out of nowhere, saying, "We gotta retreat, bye!" And, like, you didn't have vision of the area because the Dominion took care of it, or the Zerg took care of it, and, like, that makes a bit more sense to me. That sits a little bit better with me, because I'm always worried about stuff like that in this context. It feels really awkward in that sense. So, yeah. Hopefully that works out just fine. I don't think it'll be, I can't imagine it, you know, being too big of a deal if I do it that way. So hopefully we can, put it together. Yeah, I always try to avoid interrupting gameplay, even if it's a really quote-unquote important event. That's just sort of the price you pay for working with an RTS engine as you're, like, with your storytelling. Like, I have a very staunch stance on, like, you're not supposed to stop the player from playing the game, even for a second, after you've, like, they've sat through your mission briefing, they've sat through your opening cutscene, like, they know what's going on. If you've done your information control right, like, they know the stakes, they know what the current setup is, like, they know what is going on in that sense, and they shouldn't need to be bombarded with any more information at that point. So, for me, I know that I don't like it when I have my control yanked away and there's a pause, or just in the middle of... It's even more egregious when there's no pause. You center view me from wherever I was, maybe in the middle of combat. You have no way of knowing and controlling for that. Like, there's no way to detect, is the player in combat? No? Okay, then do my dialogue event. You can't do that in normal StarCraft. Like, you'd need new tools for that, and we don't have them yet. So, because there's no way to control for that, I always try to make sure, like... The only time I would ever yank camera control away is if I couldn't, like, if I could know for sure that the player wasn't in the middle of combat or something else. But even then, like, if you're in the middle of setting up your base, you don't want to be distracted during that time either. And so it never really feels like I have a right time to do that, so I just opt not to do that ever. Oh, shit!
Sorry, I was crushing Metatron's brain.
Yeah. And Metatron, who is the author of a lot of the psychotic micro campaigns, like Flame Knives and Eon of the Hawk, well, those are built around never allowing you to play the normal game anyways. Like, you can barely ever play, there's never any, like, macro in there. It's always, like, controlling infantry squads and stuff. And on top of that, like, every 5 feet is, like, a pause and a dialogue event and a pause and a dialogue event. It gets old real quick. In other words, there's no gameplay there. Alright. So let's target an area to completely finish. I vote we target this bottom strip, because we can add at least one more expansion in this area after we add the Zerg's base. The other thing I'm kind of laughing about, even to this point, is I finally have a use for that Alarak portrait that somebody ripped and used in some insane Brood War mod. I've wanted to use that portrait since I saw it in some total conversion somewhere. Because you could actually train Alarak as a hero. That's one of those things I'll never get. Like, I understand. I get people who say, I really liked StarCraft 2. Like, I don't get that. But I get, like, okay, yeah, I can accept that premise. But the people who say, everything in StarCraft 2 is terrible, besides Alarak, like, why the fuck is that guy an exception? Like, as far as I can tell, he's just the same as everybody else, so that really puzzles me when I hear that. Maybe they just like the voice actor or something. But if you guys haven't seen the total conversions I'm talking about, even it, like, especially if you find the whole StarCraft 2 thing like a prank, a giant haha, you should check that out just to see, like, the madness of some of these Koreans that, they mod the game, and they do so purely to add, like, random StarCraft 2 stuff in the game, to the game. Not only does it look terrible because of Brood War's palette, but, like, it's just really goofy to see, like, some StarCraft 1 assets, or assets that look like they were from StarCraft 1's era, at least, like, time period, up against, like, this cartoonified Odin giant mech. Like, what are you doing? What a mishmash. Alright, what player are we placing these for? 6. That's how many drones he's getting. No. Well, Mass Recall is also silly, but that's for a different reason. So actually, since I'm pretty familiar with I had to get pretty familiar with the AI scripts and stuff for the original campaigns, I am a little familiar with how they are structured, and it's pretty funny to me the way that they approach certain things in Mass Recall. Like, they pretty much just straight up accept that they can't make AI in StarCraft 2. And I don't mean they as in, like, it's their incompetence or their lack of knowledge that is the source of this. It's, like, actually not possible to make performant AI. So you'll just crash people's computers pretty much if you try, because of the way that game is set up, unfortunately. So, yeah. If you ever end up looking at that stuff, they just spawn everything in, pretty much. Which is, like, classic behavior. That's like what people in Brood War did when they didn't know how to make AI. They just spawned stuff in. It's, to see that we haven't advanced at all in however many years it's been. Oh, no. Say it ain't so. Where do I want this? Put it somewhere. How about here? Right there's fine. My eyes have seen suffering. I can agree with that. But the mods that I was referring to in that context aren't really like Mass Recall. They're just mods that you play in melee mode. So they replace the tech trees. Some of them are technically impressive in terms of what they add, but unfortunately, like, all of the art is just like, what can I throw in here? Oh, Alarak? Okay, oh, this thing from StarCraft clone in the year 2000? Okay. Yeah, throw that in there too. Like, they're very schizo about what they add and what they don't. What is going on here? I feel like I missed something. Oh, I see. So the way that it tiles is not quite accurate yet. I'll have to fix that later. Well, it's certainly not conducive to... Let's just say it's not what you would want. Alright, so... Need some overlords. I didn't even place any for this player. Who needs overlords anyway? AI can build them on their own. They're big boys. Alright. I am planning on adding a whole bunch of custom units. The problem is I have no idea if I'll have the time for that. That'll be, I'm planning on streaming development of this every day this week besides, well, every weekday besides Wednesday. And then Saturdays, of course, when I'm playing all of them, so... I was thinking an expansion, a really easy natural for this guy to take would be over here. And I don't feel bad about setting it up this way because it's actually pretty easy to contest, I feel like. And, especially with that ramp there. If you allow them to take this, maybe not. But I think even if you do some siege tanks over here, maybe they wouldn't be able to. I can always expand this down a little bit to allow for something like that. Oh, we need something like this. And then I need... I actually don't know if I've placed that yet. Oh, yeah, cool. Sometimes you spend more time trying to be lazy and finding where you placed a certain blend or a certain tile or whatever. And you have... you spend more time doing that than you would have if you just placed it yourself. That has happened to me plenty of times. Alright, so... I think it's okay for this to be a mineral only. I just gotta figure out where they're gonna place their shit. Alright. Hey. I didn't mean that many. That's way too many minerals. Alright. Although, I guess if I was going to add... if I'm going to reduce the number of resources, it only makes sense for me to... add a couple more. So, check that off. This area definitely needs a makeover, but I'm not quite sure what to do with it yet. Oh yeah, and I think I already pointed this out the first time I was designing this area, but these are actually two different resource areas, so that's not gonna be good. Basically, I have to if the AI were to try to expand to one of these locations, I'm actually not sure. Maybe if they expanded to the gas location, they would still mine the minerals, because sometimes the AI is like that. But I'm pretty sure if they expanded to the mineral only res area, they would not mine the gas at all, because they just wouldn't read a gas expo. I might be able to get around that by detecting if it's them at a like detecting if they're at one of the two locations and then making them quote-unquote expand at the other one, and all it requests is like one hatchery or something and a couple of drones. That might work to circumvent the issue, especially if I base layout it so that they build it right next to the other one anyways. Like, especially with Zerg, it's not going to look off, whereas with the other races I probably won't request a command center or a nexus, but it might request like a missile turret or something. I don't even know how I'm gonna get the AI ally to work in this context. I'm gonna have to test something out like that, see what they do. Okay, so let's place our start locations. Okay. Perfect. So, I think we're good there. I guess to be really safe with the AI's stuff, what I could do is something like this. Just because I don't want to have to worry about that in the future. What an ugly mineral line. Started off promising, and then we really messed it up. Whoa! Can't do that. We obviously want the gas to be close enough to the main. And it's not so far away. Okay. And then we can take our beloved start location and place it down here. Ta-da! Perfect. All the same town. That is probably something that will forever haunt me, though. Just the way that resource areas work in this game. Okay. Alright, well, glad we were able to resolve that issue. Oh yeah, you know what, we need to connect that with a backwards room. One of the things that really amazes me is for like how long we've basically just not had custom ramps and stuff. And if you know anything about the remastered ones that they wound up adding, they actually still have the same issues that the current ones do, where the height flags are all over the place. Like, for example, if you look at height, right? You see how this is very clean? There's no disparity. You compare that to this, where like the uppermost bit is actually a high ground tile, or partially a high ground tile, and then, or like the lowermost bit rather, and then one of the uppermost bits is medium ground, which means that you get a height disadvantage, and then halfway through the ramp it's also the same thing. The borders are a little bit cleaner, I guess, comparatively, like in terms of what's passable and what isn't. So the same thing basically happens with the remastered ones. So, at least for my purposes, what I can do is I can like screenshot this ramp, sort of try to clean it up in some quick fashion. It's never going to be like a final thing. It's a placeholder for sure, but I can clean it up a little bit in Photoshop. Some of the more glaring issues with it. And then I can re-import it and do the height correctly and the pathing correctly. I can do stuff like that just to make it so that it at least functions from a gameplay perspective. But, otherwise, you're pretty much screwed. And I guess, speaking of gameplay, I should probably take something like that, just because, well, no, I shouldn't. I just realized that the way that the height works for this is also kind of... yeah, that would not work. It's just a very rough cutoff right now. In terms of height. But at least then it's like, it's clearly displayed based on the difference in the tile. So there's that, I suppose. I don't know, it's really suboptimal, we'll say. It's not what you would want. But it really is shocking to me that we've languished in that state for so long. And nobody's done anything about it, I guess. I don't know. Cooked out, man. Unfortunately, I doubt we'll ever... I doubt that this map will be ready in the same sense. Like, we're going to be in placeholder territory for quite some time for these assets. But that's okay, I suppose. Our savior, DF, will be upon us soon. Okay. I'm scattershot in my focus here. We did more or less finalize the bottom part of the map layout. So there's that. I was originally planning on adding an expansion over here, which is why I had this weird, like, cutout for the high terrain. Since I wound up adding it over here instead, I think we'll just seal this up a little bit. In that case, it's pretty much just aesthetic. I doubt anybody will ever land a tank over there or something. There's not really much of a reason to. Though this area is kind of funny because it does give you a little bit of access. You can squeeze a tank over here and siege them up and fuck those AI. One thing I always struggle with man-made stuff, when I know it's made for a purpose, is like having varying height and stuff. Just shit like that, where it's less linear, it's less completely open. Sometimes it's fine to have really open environments, but I'm just not convinced now that this is one of those times, I guess. I'm trying to think of like what I would want to do to spruce up the gameplay over here. Like these areas being islands, I'm okay with. I might even add like a small expansion to each one of those, because there's another one over here. So this is going to be turned into a resource area as well. In fact, we can just copy some of the minerals from over here and get started on organizing our patch. These will be pretty high priority insofar as there's a fair number of resources and also a double gas on either one. Yeah, it seems to be the same setup. What else we got? I don't think I'm gonna get away with that. So what do you guys think about mineral fields that are more on the annoying side, or resource areas that are more on the annoying side? I know it's actually a sort of mainstay for a lot of campaign content in general. You don't really get clean mineral setups, right? Like, just looking at this base, for example, you can see, like, some of the minerals are to the right, and some of them are to the left. You're not going to get perfect mineral saturation, whereas this is a more, like, melee-style base. Even this is a bit more melee-style. That's a little bit less so, but still more. Like, that's obviously not. This is obviously a little bit further away, but still pretty good, I think, in terms of efficiency. I feel like it can be used as a way to balance how good an expansion actually is, like the yield of an expansion. Because there might be a lot of resources there, but if it takes a long time, or a lot of drones, a lot of workers, to properly saturate it, or just a long time to mine it out, that's like a balancing factor, right? That's like sort of a lever you can pull. So you can push it into a direction where you feel like, okay, this is an easy to hold expansion, and there are a lot of resources, but it's going to take an investment of a lot of workers, so that if you do end up losing it, it's even more valuable. In that sense, like, you lost more value. Stuff like that, I like to play around with that theory in a theory crafting sense. I just don't know how fun it actually is for everybody else. Like, that might just be oh, it's fun because I'm me, and that sort of thing. Oh, I was just asking about what people think about resource areas that are harder to mine from, or take more workers to mine from in terms of efficiency, compared to, like, the standard ladder mineral patches and stuff. I was wondering if anybody had any feedback on that. Because I think it's fine. Like, I think you can use it as a way to balance out how valuable an expansion is. But I'm not sure. Some people might think that it's just, like, annoying or something. Well, it's like, where, like, in this case, the mineral fields here are a lot closer to the inevitable point of where you put down your town hall, compared to the mineral fields on the left. But a more, like, obvious example would be like this, where it would take an absurd amount of workers to saturate something like that. Or, here as well, it's kind of similar. Like, you compare that to the more melee-style base layouts for stuff like this, I feel like you can see what I mean. Yeah, I figured some people are just, like, gonna look at it and say, okay, I gotta adapt. Which is probably what I would want anyway out of a player base, but... Uh-oh.
We are entering into the danger zone. Oh no.
How do you mean, Helstrix? Having a hard time balancing mission objectives with having a secret ending? It can be something really mundane, like... Well, I don't know. It depends on how you do it. You could just make it so that if the player accomplishes whatever the secret, like, objective is, they get, an extra scene after the ending. Like, you have an ending cutscene, and then after that, if the player did the bonus thing, they get the real ending or something like that, you know what I mean? This is a tough one because, realistically speaking, I have no idea how to set up this base area. Oh, okay. So you want to take it a little bit more... You're taking it up a notch. I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more on the challenging side to set up, I think. But it should still be possible. It's just one of those things where one of the paths might be a little easier than you intended. So if you can try to curtail that problem, you might have better luck. I think everybody's only doing one, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I also had grand aspirations at some point. I was thinking maybe instead of doing what I'm doing now, I could do something more crazy. Wow. I have since reconsidered. we get to the fun part of filling all this in one bit by bit. Half of it will get overwritten later on when I do doodadding, but for now...
We must suffer.
At least we got good music to do this to. Energetic. Alright, cool. I really like the aesthetic of the resources growing on asteroids thing. I feel like that adds a lot, actually. In what context? Do you mean just in general? The only thing that links the GRP file to the iScript is images.dat. So if you look at its images.dat entry, you should see whatever, like it'll say iScript entry as one of the fields, and that's what controls what iScript corresponds to it. So for example, if you wanted to change the Kerrigan ghost to use the Marine iScript, and you didn't want to edit iScript.bin, you would just go to images.dat and set Kerrigan's iScript file to use the Marine one. If you were replacing Kerrigan's GRP with a Marine or something, and you didn't feel like writing a new script or whatever, or editing it in any way, I guess. It would make it so like Kerrigan would use the Marine animations. So iScripts are literally just like code, but it's instructions on what to like what the game should. It's basically instructions that the game gives to the graphic. So it's stuff like play frame, number, whatever. Like, and then that corresponds to a number of frames in the images graphic. So it's pretty simple on its face, but you can do a lot of really complicated things with it, so it ends up being a pretty useful tool, I think. I'm really looking for a better place to put these. I don't feel like blocking off the ramp that I'm going to add in here with minerals. But it looks like that's what I'm doing. Accidentally. Here. Get a cheeky one on the cliff there. You can have the same GRP but different iScript if you were to set Kerrigan's GRP file to a Marine but keep it at the Kerrigan iScript file, then it would use the Marine's GRP but use Kerrigan's code if you wanted to do that. In the case of the most hero units and original units, they don't actually have different iScript entries. I mean, they technically do, in a sense that it'll say, like, in iScript.bin, it'll say a different entry, but it actually is the same entry. Like, the Jim Raynor Marine uses the same entry as the normal Marine. So if you wanted Jim Raynor to have a different set of frames, and you didn't want to add those frames to the normal Marine, you would actually have to import Jim Raynor's Marine, like the Marine graphic, basically, over a new, well, I guess you could just say you wanted to replace the flag. You're going to use the flag unit or graphic for Raynor. So you go into Raynor, you go to images.dat, you set the graphic used, well, you keep the graphic used as Marine, but you set the iScript to the flag, and then in the iScript.bin, you would replace the flag's image code with whatever you wanted. Then you could add the new Marine graphic or something, but that would be like if you wanted a Marine, like Raynor to attack faster. Like if you wanted him to attack 3 times instead of once or something per attack, because you really like the number 3, you could do it that way. I do it in an even more silly way though, because I don't feel like adding new iScripts. What I actually do in, for example, with the Basilisk and Hydra, is I have a sig order in the Hydralisk's attack animation in iScript. So the code has this, basically it's like a call, it's like checking for variables or something. And then in the GPTP plugin, I have a command that says, if the current unit is a Hydralisk and its current signal order is whatever I put in the iScript, like I think it's like 32 or something. If it's that, then, just proceed as normal. But if the current unit is Basilisk and the unit signal, order signal is 32, jump to a different thread, like iScript block entirely. So it basically is just checking to see which unit it is in iScript. Which, if we had just a native command, would be better, but it's a way for me to make it so that the Basilisk attacks 3 times, the Hydralisk attacks only once, and I don't have to add a new iScript entry in order for that to work. It's just like it's like a solution engineered because of laziness, pretty much. But it works out. As far as can you give me the exact use case that you're describing, Heltrix? Can you tell me what specifically you mean by what you were talking about? Like, what are you trying to do specifically? Oh, okay. Well, if you end up in an area where you think you... Well, basically, if you end up needing additional... you have other questions you want answered, just let me know. As far as I'm aware, it should be possible to do what you were asking about, but I don't... I may be misunderstanding what you're saying, so... Hey, what's up, Alexander? How you doing? Here we go. I knew I would find it. Hey, what's up, Dunsfeld here? How you doing? Welcome to the Void. We have rocks. How you guys doing? So, let's see where we're at here. Oh, you mean like the target range thing, Helltrix, where like if the unit is within a certain range, the Goliath will use a different weapon? I said let there be light! Sometimes my light does not turn on properly. I have to wiggle the fucking switch a few times. Oh. Don't mind me just doing some stretching. Stare at this fucking blank ass canvas for the protest base. Holy shit. But our first hour and change has been spent well, I think. We've more or less finalized the bottom strip of the map. Added all of those lovely reverse ramps. The catwalk. Added that expansion. I'm still kind of thinking there should be one in the high ground over here, but not sure. I could shrink this ramp and then add more real estate over here so that there'd be more room to pass through. But I'm not quite sure if that's the right move. I just don't know. Probably have to reduce the number of mineral fields on those islands because it's just way too many minerals. Excuse me. And I gotta add 2 expansions to this asteroid. I really like how this this thing came out. This overall, like, the way it all looks, I think is really nice. And you have plenty of room for resources. I kind of wanted a resource field to grow like around this radially, which would be really fucking silly to mine from, I guess, but I feel like it could be cool to have like a bunch of minerals there and then a couple of minerals up here and a geyser somewhere for the second base. Let's see how that works out. And then I'm going to add like a bunch of smaller, some of which will be pathable asteroid islands per se, like just sort of like this, but like all over the place to make it feel like a proper field. I think that'll be nice. Just adding those here and there. But yeah, we're getting to the point where pretty much everything is final. Like this area, of course, has to be done. Like the rightmost center area. This area needs touching up and detailing. The Protoss base obviously needs to be set up. Maybe a couple of additional expansions after the asteroid ones, and then we'll be good. Looking forward to that.
Aggressive mode!
So I'll show you some aggressive mode. Motherfucker. By the way, if anybody here is a caffeine aficionado like myself, you drink a lot of energy drinks or coffee or whatever. Well, actually, it's pretty much only if you drink energy drinks. One of the things that is present in like green tea and shit, and to a lesser extent some coffee, is this thing called L-theanine, and it's a pretty. It's like actually by itself in a bunch of like calming, soothing drinks, which you'd think you wouldn't want necessarily in an energy drink, but when combined with caffeine, it helps you get the most benefits out of it. So it's like a way to make sure that you keep your caffeine balance in check. So if you are drinking a lot of energy drinks, I recommend just grabbing L-theanine. It's like $10 on Amazon, at least where I got it. I'll spell it in the YouTube chat. You look for like a 200 milligram caplet. I got for $10. I got 120 of those, and you just take if you're drinking 200 milligrams or 300 milligrams of caffeine, you take one of those. If you're taking more of that, obviously, we try to keep it in scale. And yeah, see what you can do. Just see if it helps. Some people have really bad like heart rate issues when they drink caffeine, and L-theanine is also supposed to help with that, but I imagine if you have that problem, you're probably not drinking too much fucking caffeine, just because that is a very unpleasant experience. And why would you want to opt into that more? Oh, actually, Helltrix, a while ago, I grabbed a bunch of files for a bunch of sound fonts, a massive library of sound fonts for Balethal when he was making music for me. He still is on top every now and then, of course. But I just pinged you with the link on Discord if you want to check that out. Oh shit! Did you know I'm all out of bananas? It's very sad. Yeah, no problem. You might be able to play around with those. I don't know. I think FL Studio can open those, I'm pretty sure, because that's what Baletal uses. I don't know what program you were using, or you were going to use. You. Now come on, man. Tell me this isn't the most fucking obnoxious looking resource area you've ever seen me make. I would love to expand here. LOL. Sign me the fuck up, LOL. Check me out on Expandogram. I would suggest FL Studio just because I know Baletal uses that, so if you ran into issues, you could ask him for help or insight. That's it. Stream's over, guys. We got blown up. You'll report me if I keep this Mineralis? No, dude, this is my Mineralis. You can't report my Mineralis. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, this is going to be a very sprawling mineral-only expansion. Yeah, that could be awesome, Heltrix. I didn't know you played guitar. That's cool. I have no aptitude for any instruments, so... Unfortunately, I can't say anything about that. I have made some music in the past for Inconsummate and other such projects, but... nothing too exciting, I don't think. That's a significant difference right there. 211, by the way. Oh shit, we're in control, guys. Why is this a song? Come on. Come on, guys. This is a perfect base. I don't know what you're complaining about. That sounds like a threat. I don't take kindly to threats. I invite them over for dinner, and then I overcook their food. That's what I do to threats. And those who threaten. And? FL Studio Fruity Loops. Does it? I did not mean to create such a... I'm sorry for causing flashbacks. I did not mean to cause so much pain and suffering. It's very rude of me. How heartless can one man be? Oh, fuck! No! No, get out of my Mineralis! Hey! Oh. We have saved the Mineralis. Holy shit! This Mineralis wanted more. You greedy motherfucker, look how many Mineralis you have. You can't take my Mineralis over here. No! Bad. Bad dog. Bad Mineralis. Yeah, FL Studio. I might even have that uploaded, actually. Let me see. I don't think so. Hold on, maybe I do. Why is it called that? No free will! What the fuck? There we go. Yeah, don't worry about that, Heltrix. I'm uploading it right now. Stream might be a little choppy because of it. You didn't know Windows 10 is basically free? I had no idea. You know what I actually didn't know? Is that there's some downsides, apparently, to... What? Hey, buddy. Calm down, we all have a little Mineralis now and again. Nothing to be ashamed of. Only thing worse than having a little Mineralis is being greedy when you have a lot already. You motherfucker. What was that in the middle of saying? Apparently there's some downsides to even activating Windows, which I wasn't not aware of. At least, that's what I've heard. I could be mistaken about that. Whoa, you can't rev your engine at me. What do you think this is? Some kind of motor show? Exactly, dude. Scare him away with Fang. That'll teach him a lesson. What a man. Fank is a real man.
By the way.
Can't by the way me.
And we're walking.
My worst nightmare. Yeah, you can install it and not activate it, but there was, like, you know how it's a meme where it's like, oh, you better activate your Windows? Like, apparently that was a major issue. Or, like, there was a problem with activating Windows in general. Something was gained by not activating it is basically what I mean. And I don't mean that they, like, avoided paying for it, which is obvious. It's just, like, something else happened with that.
Butter! 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 Butter!
Not butter. Dude, check out my Mineralis. Hell yeah.
I'm thinking.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, who would ever do that? It is a simulation. Could a space map work without platforms? Just space and nebulas and shit. Well, nebulae are pretty big, I'm pretty sure. Nebula. Nebulu. I don't know if any map in StarCraft could properly depict that scale. Wait, what the fuck? Did I scroll past it? Yes, I did. Okay. Just making sure it's my own incompetence. Eventually, I'm gonna lay these out the same way that I laid out the cliff, the dirt cliff tiles, the coastal tiles, if you will. And it'll be much easier to place them because I won't have to do this jigsaw puzzle stuff every single time I want a certain tile. I think I have to do one up, or... Oh no, I can fit it in there. Nice! It might be a little fucky with the geyser, just because it's really close to the bridge, but there should be enough space with the bridge that I'm not too worried about it, all in all. If anything, I'll have to clean up some of the other, like these geyser doodads over here or something. Like I might have to smooth out some of this area. But the amount of impathable terrain, or unbuildable terrain rather, will make sure that, like, no matter how dumb the AI's base building is, it's not going to, like, wall itself in by accident or something. It should mean that anyway. No custom units this time? You've decided? Maybe you'll have time later on. You never know. Oh, maybe somebody in the server has some ideas. You might be able to post in Newbor or something. Or Artism. I'm not sure who's got experience with Blender. Actually, maybe Bailithal does. He's kind of a jack of all trades. And I think Dark Metzen does as well, if you want to ping him. But he's, he'll see it when he gets in. I think he's out right now. I did not get much sleep today, but on the plus side, that means that I'm going to sleep really well tonight. And that means I'll be able to wake up early and stream bright and early every time. It'll be great. Ah, cool. Yeah, Blender's a pretty popular program, given as far as I'm aware, it's completely free. You get what you pay for. Alright, so we've done our little texturing there. Added some shit. We've got a lot of Mineralis. There's actually a shockingly large number of expansions in this. I think it's it's one of those things, man. Actually, I just got an idea. Hold on.
And
Hey. Try again. You can't say that. What a madman. I still can't believe I even made those sounds. Like it takes me a second to remember that that is me actually.
You? Is that really you?
It is. How'd you know?
Oh, you.
You.
Oh, you.
Can't say that.
Archon!
Hey, you can. Don't Archon. Oh, wait. I need the other one.
Look at this man's fucking face!
No. You.
You owe me a beer.
Anything but a beer. Wait. The fuck? Okay. False alarm, guys. We did it. We fucked it up. Yeah, pretty much the same, man. I'll drink other kinds of alcohol, but I find beer to be like, you're beating around the bush, you know? Sometimes literally. Bush beers, by the way. Oh. Well. It drops color? I know, that's crazy. I never would have expected that. I mean, it seems like it's been done uploading for a while. Give me a sec. Grabbing you the link.
Froggy?
Fraudgy?
oops.
Alright, you should have it, Heltrix. I just DM'd it to you. Oh yeah, like back then it wasn't really proper, it didn't make any sense to upgrade because we didn't really know what it was going to be like. And pretty much everybody had subscribed to the every other rule. Except the only issue with that one was, obviously, they fucked it up. Wow. Speaking of fucked it up, there we go. I finally found one. Oh, you know what? It looks like I have forgotten to depthify that, so that's unfortunate. Where is that kid? Oh, the oops. That's from Sonic. That's Tails from Sonic. Sonic Adventure. I'm sure you feel like you didn't need to know that, but now you do. So there you go. Enjoy. Yeah, it's you saved yourself some brain cells, man. Okay. Yeah. It's great. It works out, man. Okay. Nearly done piecemealing this shit together. I have not experimented too much with using custom ones. I would suggest keeping it relatively standard. Just I always end up reusing what the other default ones were.
Bitches leave.
bitches leave. Wasn't there a... Oh yeah, here it is. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I have that anywhere. Oops. Oops.
Kill yourself.
Ah! Jay Marino, I didn't know you were there. Your brain is completely destroyed. Hey, that's not what I would say to Jay Marino. I would be very calm and collected. Nice. I'm a nice boy. Hey, what's up, Patriot? How's it going? You here to watch us slowly piecemeal together a bunch of fucking... essentially doodads? That's how I feel. That goddammit guy knows what's going on. I'm actually not even sure if that blend exists normally. Does it? Oh, I guess it does. Crazy. Well, they create the request, so if that means that the AI will rebuild if it loses the structure, basically.
Style points.
Oh, fudge! I didn't know we was getting style points for this. Destroyed us. Little mean. Do I even have one that goes with that? Oh yeah, there it is. Now it looks like I'll be using something else though. I'll use this. Oh, wait. Oops. That's an oops moment.
Acknowledged.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have not added DK saying this is StarCraft for you. The fuck ones with that anyway? Okay, well, now we have the fun job of filling everything in. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Didn't quite get the memo there. It's probably hard to see on the stream. I am trying to avoid repeating too many tiles right next to each other, which is kind of the most irritating part of this whole ordeal. Well, I kind of wanted this to be an island, though. I wonder if I should just... I should probably cut this bridge. I don't know what you guys think about that. Because I do like the idea that this is a complete island. They may have, like, you know, linked this small piece, but I think if I cut this bridge, we'll be in a better shape overall. It was originally meant to be an island anyway, and I feel like it just winds up being better served by that purpose. Yeah, that'll be like, that won't be something that I expect will happen. Like, it should be a fighting point, a sticking point for the player to try to get those resources, but it being an island will at least ensure that whoever has it in the moment will probably hold on to it for a little while. Oh, you mean this? Yeah. They're all terrible. I'm not an artist. I didn't make those. Those are made with tiles that are already in the game. And I'm just using them for now because we have no way to fix it without remaking them from scratch, which is beyond my capabilities. I could make something really shitty, but obviously not what we want. Just one of those limitations that you would not expect to be as limited as it is in a game this old, but people, nobody ever made any better ones. In fact, I think only now are we getting any ramps at all. Like, we were not receiving, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like, just, for literally 2 decades now, we haven't had custom ramps that were in the proper perspective. Yeah, it's just a placeholder. What's up, Jankovic? Welcome.
Bye.
All right, I'll see you later on, Connor. Good talking with you. Nuke rate 50 means every 50 minutes the AI will nuke, Keltrix. I didn't see your question just now, or until just now, so apologies for the late response. So unless you want a 50-minute nuke, or whatever you call it, it'll nuke then, and then it'll, Oh, you did? I didn't even see them. I answered the build one already. How would you suggest doing attacks? I would just attack add. If for some reason when you're doing your build commands, like if you make your building priorities higher than 70 or 60, sometimes the AI won't actually build units, and even if you're requesting guards and stuff, so just be careful with that. The most, like the highest priority thing should probably be like the first couple of workers and the starting command center, like the initial town hall. Anything you want them to have a really high priority for, go for like 80 or 85. I wouldn't go above 100 at least. And for guards, you can request them at much higher priorities if you use the guard command. But if you're just using place guard, I think the guard priority is like 50 or something. So you got to keep that in mind, where the AI will always try to satisfy the highest priority request it has first. So if you get like an upgrade command at 99 priority and a build command at 50 priority, and you gotta have to, however many requests you're giving the AI, you have to try to keep a mental list of them so that you can remember, like, okay, this is the order that they're going to try to do this in. And it gets a lot more difficult to manage when you have to balance, like, you're trying to think of, like, okay, the AI is going to expand at this point, and they're going to have these many requests at this priority, but they're also trying to attack, and they're also trying to place guards here, and like you got to juggle all that stuff while they're also building tech in their main. If I miss a question or you miss an answer, just feel free to ask it again. Anyway. Let's see what we got. So we got our little asteroid field over here. A couple of asteroid areas down there. I think that's probably it for the asteroids. I'm going to add more like bits and pieces here and there, small islands and stuff, but that can be done a little bit later on. I would like to add the last of the expansions. The last of the Mohicans. Can you believe? Would you believe it even if you seen it yourself? Yeah, I would follow that rule in general, and if you run into a specific issue with something, you can of course mess around with it yourself. But in general, that practice has served me well. Especially with Zerg AI, they seem to really have some difficulty building any degree of like guards, attacking units. They'll build the attacking units when they receive the attack request, but it like delays their attack because they never have any units on standby. And if they get attacked and they have to defend, it delays their defense too. So like the Zerg AIs have a big issue with that unfortunately I haven't really been able to crack in terms of figuring out like what is the problem. So I think other than that, it's pretty much just down to like, you know, personal preference, whatever you yourself want out of the situation. Like what do you want the AI to do? That sort of thing. But it should be feasible to get everything done. Even with the Zerg AI issue that I just described, like it should be possible to do, you know, whatever needs to be done in order to make sure that the AI is well stocked. That's just something that I haven't found the exact answer to yet. Though for all I know, the exact answer is something that I've already implemented in Redwood script, for example, in the second Hydra mission. That's something that I haven't really tested, so I don't know. But it could be. I won't rule it out until I see it. Hey, what's up? My name is Lowell. Yeah, I've been working on aggression. This is not what I'm working on right now. This is a map crap submission for our 2-week-long crap. Sounds like constipation. Probably is. That's okay. We'll see a doctor. There's time for that later. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I know. Listen, I know what it sounds like, but just hear me out. Oh, it looks like I can actually do that. Nice. Glad to know I just wasted my fucking time this whole time. God damn it. Alright, so we need... There we go. I don't know which one you're referring to. This one? Yes. That one? Also yes. We don't have any assets for that, so I'm just using the melee the stuff that people use for melee maps. It indeed is fucked. Eventually, I'm going to do the dirt cliff doodads space-wise, like the caves and the installation 13 door, and there's some other shit there too, like the temple ruins actually, which I probably will do just so that I have a complete set, but I can't imagine ever using in a serious map. I don't know what it would look like, but well, I meant like yes, that is something that I've already done, but I meant oh, it looks like I didn't even add in the cliff ones here. Like, if you go to... hold on. Like this. Right there. That one. So I'll be, like, taking the stuff that's a cliff doodad in high dirt and masking out the bottom and doing the same thing that I did to make these have some depth. And you'll see, like, those hanging in there. Yeah, I mean, the main issue with that is, like, I've already imported the installation tile set to Badlands. Or to Jungle, rather, I think. I don't know, maybe it was Badlands. Honestly, I don't remember. But either way, I've imported the tiles. So that's not an issue. I think the main issue is probably that like overall the way that it's set up is like I'm gonna need to make custom assets for one, like destroyed walls that are like they've been breached so that you can see like it wasn't like a natural opening. I'm gonna need to make custom assets for like vent passageways for like smaller squads to go into. There's a large number of custom assets that are gonna be necessary, but that includes like a proper entrance to the compound. There's going to be one that I'm gonna import all of the installation stuff to space and to Ashworld as well. So I've got to keep that in mind because I'm building, like I'm taking the installation missions in the original campaigns and building them into. Like, I basically have the installation as part of the map, but then the rest of the map surrounding it is just like standard macro large-scale stuff. So, what's up, Nosfero? Like Nosferatu, but without the 2. Nosferatu 3, what's up, dude? Thanks for the follow. But yeah. We're going to be doing all sorts of crazy shit like that. That'll be for later, though. For now, we get to look at these asteroids. All hail to the hive, exactly. May I interest you in some ice cream Zerg? 'Cause that's what these guys are. It's the easiest way to infest Terrans is just to promise them ice cream. They'll immediately come in and be like, hell yeah, I'll take that. You know what I should do is I should blend this with dirt as well so that we can have some areas where they've linked that too. That'll be neat. What looks metallic and remastered? The Zerg? I thought, if you look at like the Lurker, for example, I felt like it was way too sharpened. Like it did look like a sharp object. The problem there though is like they have that, but then they have the Goomba like Mario eggs or something that look like straight out of a cartoon. It's very silly. Crush brain. All right, so what area do we want to target next? We can target the Dominion Star location, this area, which is just vacant right now, and the Protoss. We got 3 areas left to target. I would like to work this in as well at some point. And then after that, we're free to do whatever. I think we'll work from the left to the right. See what we can accomplish there. This is a pretty massive map in terms of the number of expansions that are going to be in here. So we are going to see some crazy comps, I think, out of this map. Only question is, should I be putting a ramp here for the Dominion to gain access to? Maybe. Could be a possibility. See what it looks like. Besides terrible. We are all aware of that already, unfortunately. Oh boy, this is a skip coming up, guys. There's no, don't do it. Ah! Skip. Do that. That is always a skip for me, man. Okay. Well, like I said, it looks real good, guys, but that's okay. It's fine. Yep. It physically hurts my brain. Causing true pain. Will I ever be able to see again? These questions rattle in my mind. It's okay, dude. We got some doobie hunters. That's all that matters.
Hey, man.
What's up, Bale? How you hanging? Glad you're doing okay. You can kick back and relax, or you can work on your own thing. We're here to have a grand old time. Hey! That's not the right tile. Hey. We'll put that there, huh? That's an old one. I don't even know how that's possible. Ah, probably because I copied it from here. Copy and paste. Strikes again. Bing bong. Attack 2 just means that the AI will take the coordinates that you give it, so it can be better. For example, if you want to make sure an AI always targets a certain player, you can use Attack 2. But sometimes it's better to let the AI have a little bit of fun with that and create a more randomized battlefield in that sense. So it comes down to what you like as a developer, what you like as a player, and what you think would be best for game flow. That's what I would say to that. And hey, I think, or I hope that you have a good time with that appointment. Wish you luck and all that. Hope it works out. Hope they give you something you like. Gotta place Bob's guns. Can't have a map without Bob's guns. You want the AI to be cunning. You can make it so that there's like islands and stuff and have them use the islands to mineral drop or whatever. Absolutely annihilate them. That is a possibility. Check it out. Yeah, Bob the cool server, man. Him and his guns. Okay, so... Whoa! Don't do that, SCM drive. Bad. Alright, I think that's a fine starting point for the Dominion. Use that. This is probably the most Marines you'll see from this player. This player is really a fan of Goliaths, just so you guys know. He really likes Goliaths. A lot. I kind of want just as a bit, I want Warfield to just like build barracks, build like 1 or 2 barracks, and straight up do nothing but just float them into your base like scouting tools or something. Because like that does happen sometimes. People will use barracks for scouting and melee maps, which is the idea that he dislikes using infantry so much he would rather throw his fucking barracks at you. Like, bye. Idle orders seems like such a confusing command. Yeah, it's got a lot of fields, so it's kind of a difficult thing to grasp, probably. Yeah. Just complaining about the way that the game is made. It's like when Jay Marino was like, why can't you consume enemy units? I wish I gave him more shit for that, honestly. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, but it is funny to me, like... why can't you just one-hit the enemy units and gain energy and health? Why can't you just... Why? Wow. It still baffles me. Boggles me. Yeah, why can't I just type a quick key press and delete my enemy? Just what it came across as, anyway. It was much more innocent in meaning, I'm sure. It's just Will never not be funny to me. Alright. So, more than half of this will probably be base layouted as opposed to pre-placed. Yeah. What if they were only... You could only consume enemy Zerg units. There's the big brain balancing decision. Yeah, it was in the first his playthrough of the first mission of Inconsummate, where he's using Strawlium and calling him Goska for some reason. He's like, why can't you consume enemy units? But again, I don't think he was being serious about it. Like, it was more like a flippant remark than anything. Just consume Ultralis. Yeah, why not? Maybe you need to maybe consume when used on enemy units would just deal damage to them and cost mana instead. Cost energy. But on kill, you get a bunch of it. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. It's a good bit. The real bit would be like putting that into the game but not saying anything about it. You just find out when the enemy AI is using consume on your fucking units. Just a prank. Nobody comments on it. Suddenly you just see your Ultralis die in one hit. Yeah. Well, it's just, it requires Zerg. I think maybe it also requires biological, but it's like a redundancy. Like, you can't consume a Zealot, for example. Okay. Seems like a reasonable amount of factories. Could add one more somewhere, but that's for his expansion. Warfield never was much of a city planner. Alright, so he's taken care of. Cool.
We are the unclean and destitute. We are the lost youth. We are the future. We are compromised.
Ow, my fucking eyeballs. Okay. Huh. Can't quite put that one there. That's okay. They'll figure it out. Oh shit. He said drop. Does that mean he's gonna get us? Get, homie? Okay, so, what do we got here? What else is going down? Probably not much, honestly. I think we can wrap things up pretty soon after we, clean house a couple of areas.
You said you'd save me.
You?
You told me you'd be there. But you never saved me.
What a baby.
I'm so sorry.
You.
They killed me. And I cannot return. But remember me. I left you.
So, now... We get a big stretch, guys. Taking a big sip of water, guys. Dude, check out the number of mineralis on this map.
Eventually.
You. Oh! I don't like it when angry men yell at me. It's very mean of them. Man, I really look forward to having a complete set of custom ramps that are actually, you know, proper, looking good for all of the tile sets. That'll be the day, man. Like, I was thinking about this at some point during one of the other mod streams. I don't remember if I commented on it. But if you just look at, like, any old map, you're, like, making a map. You're designing a map outline. Imagine not being able to use backwards ramps. Like, north-facing ramps. And then you realize that Blizzard did do that. They never used a single north-facing ramp the entire time they made their campaigns. And most people in general have never used north-facing ramps in their campaign maps. Like, it's so absurd. It defies reality. and logic and reason. But you know. And when they did, they were... well, we saw the results. Player must destroy these certain buildings to keep the AI nukes delayed. So the problem is that the nuke rate... You can't add to an existing nuke timer. You can only just set the next timer to be longer with nuke rate. So basically what you would do is you would have to set it up so that, say you have like a structure, like a science facility, or a covert ops, or whatever, like whatever the structure is that you have to destroy. If the AI has, say the maximum they can have is 5, then nuke rate is set to, 1 or 2. We'll say it starts at 2. And when they own at most 4, which means 4 or less, I guess. No, you would do exactly 4, I guess, in this case. When they own exactly 4, your AI script would set the nuke rate to 3 or 4, or however many, like increase it by however many minutes you wanted. And you would just have to do that for every one. Yeah, but fake nuke resets the timer. It tells the AI, hey, you can nuke now. That's what fake nuke does. I'm pretty sure anyway. Let me check the command guide. So, if you were trying to use fake nuke to delay it, I don't think that would work out. Yeah, resets the current computer player's nuke timer. So it basically sets it to... Yeah. So, that's basically how that works. So, like, fake nuke would say, like, make the AI try to nuke again. So, like, if you have it set to nuke rate 0, which means nuke whenever you can, then fake nuke kind of does nothing anyways. But if you had it set to, like, say you did have it set to some really high value, but you wanted the AI... Like, you could set it to 255 to try to have the AI never nuke on its own, but then call fake nuke when a certain trigger action had been met or something. Like, your block would look something like... It'd be like, deaths 13 at least, wait 1, civilian blank, deaths 13 set 1 or 0 civilian blank, and fake nuke, go to fake nuke. It would look like this if you wanted to do something like that where the AI only nukes when you want it to. I don't think you can tell the AI to nuke at a specific target using this. What you would have to do instead is probably you'd have to use idle orders to give them a specific nuke target. And then, I guess, put the ghosts that we're going to be doing the nuking in close to that area or something. I don't know. That's a tough one. We do have a command in here. Launch a nuke at map coordinates. So I guess what you could do is... Okay, so maybe not. So maybe instead of this, right, You wait until there's a death. Like, all right, let me restructure this for a little bit.
Technology, a living tactical weapon capable of great destruction. It's vital that you remain uncontaminated by human passions and
All right, so what you would do in this case is you would do something like you would use the civilian death as a timer, and you would basically it would be something like So I can actually do this all through AI script, but I'm thinking like it might be more complicated than what you would want to do. But I'll just do it the way that I'll do it, and you can see if it is a method that you want to do it. You want to do for your own thing. So you'd wait for 0 civilian deaths, and somewhere in the initialize, so you'd have like script name, script ID. You know, wait 1, start down, wait 1, default, off, default, and 0, multi-run, blah, and then multi-run nuke at some point. But in this initialization, where you do like, you know, AI control, unit mover, enabled, AI control, don't focus, disabled, under attack, 0, next. Like whatever you put in here, you would also do like deaths 13 set 1 civilian, and then you would do, you know, so the important thing is that you set a civilian death to at least 1, like something above 0, in somewhere in the initialization script or in the trigger that runs an AI script or something like that. Then in the nuke block, you would wait for 0 civilian deaths, and then there'd also be another one that would be like nuke timer. And what this would do would be wait rand or just wait, and then deaths 13 subtract 1 civilian blank, go to nuke timer, and you would also do like deaths at least wait 1 civilian. And then you would have, you know, wait, this is a minute, and then it subtracts. It could be something else if you wanted it. But this would basically just do that, right? Now, here's where it gets a little silly, because you would do, like, you know, what the fuck am I listening to? Why would you put that in your... Why would you put that at the end of your synthwave mix? Why? Mongol. Okay, so before we get into the other music, I just need to focus on this one, right? So, in addition to all of your headers, you would make sure that your nuke rate is at 255 or 254, something like that, something really high, where it's never really going to naturally nuke on its own. This basically disables the default nuke stuff. I don't think that there's a... Yeah, there's no command to completely disable nuclear behavior, so you'd have to do nuke rate 254. I only say not 255 because I don't know if that actually works. That might just default to 0, so 254 would be safer. Anyways, you would set that, you would set the civilian death. Then in the nuke block, you would have wait for exactly 0 civilian deaths, and then nuke pause, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like whatever your coordinates are. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. So after you give this order, you would have a different death check for, say again, like it's power generators. So like the power generators are what delays the nukes. So you do like deaths 13 exactly, call 0. I think it's just power generator. And then, you know, nuke add 1. And say again, there's like 5, so. And then you would go to nuke. So what you do in nuke add 0 is exactly this. So they're very simple blocks to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is just a sample, obviously. So basically, hopefully this is easy enough to explain, but what these sets of commands do is it checks, hey, do I have 0 power generator deaths? If so, call this block and skip the rest, obviously, because it has to be exact. Do I have 1? Then do this block, nuke add 1, and so on and so forth. And so you're adding to the civilian deaths and using those as a timer, and every minute, this block, as long as there's at least 1 civilian death, subtracts 1 civilian death. So that would be every single minute. That this is what this function does. This block here is acting like a timer function. This function, the nuke block, all it does is tell AI to nuke in a certain location. You can even do something like if you wanted to, you could even like call something that would do a randomizer that would randomly select between a couple of different positions. That would be an extra thing you could do. But otherwise you have, you know, it waits until the timer is 0. And then it says, all right, nuke. And then, you know, another thing you could do for safety is like you can do bring jump 13, at least wait 1, ghost, lock 63 blank. And then do the same thing, but for nuclear silo. To make sure that they at least have a ghost and a nuke before, or nuke silo before they do this nuke thing. That way they won't try to nuke. But it probably doesn't matter. Like you probably don't need that. It's just like an extra safety thing you could add. Otherwise, that's it, man. This just makes sure that you're working with the proper timings. So if you were to do it as a power generator or a covert ops or whatever, you would just swap out the death here. So hopefully that made sense to you. I don't know what that means. Yeah, like I said, I mean, hopefully it made enough sense. If there's something specific you're confused about, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, okay, I see. I actually have never used nuke location, and oh, it looks like you're supposed to run it at a location. So all of the things under star edit commands need to be run at a location, basically. So you would create a location, and you would call it, like, nuke, for whatever. And for that, the player that you wanted to be nuking, you would run that AI script. Well, you'd run an AI script with the nuke opcode, which I don't actually know if that exists. Hold on. AI nuke here, yeah. So that would be the one. And you would run it at whatever location you wanted, basically. So you could do that instead of nuke pause. You'd have to, like, set a... In the AI script, you'd have to set, like, a different death other than civilian. And then coordinate it with the map. But it's easier to do it all in AI script, I think. The way that I showed you. What was your good bit? Did you post it in Special Bus, Alexander? Hit us up. Share with the class. Oh, okay. Perfect. That's what I was hoping. Strange. Fucking Tal'Darim, dude. Very goofy. Tal'Darim. I just have to kit bash what's his face? Alarak. I've got to kit bash him saying Todd. Then my life really will be complete. The simulation will collapse in upon itself. All will be for nothing. Yeah, if I can get him yelling it too, that would be even better. Like, straight up the same way that Mesk yells at Todd! Failing that, I suppose I can always just pretend to... I'll do the voice acting for him, and I'll say it was him the whole time. Because then it's Fraud Todd. Fraudulent Todd. You know what's really funny? If you want to guarantee that Reavers get stationed where you want them to station for guards, just make it so that they place their robotics facilities there. Because the Reavers don't actually move to their guard positions, but if they're just moving to their fucking... If they're not moving at all and they're being warped in there because of robotics facilities, then it's great. Works out. That's how you know it's peak simulation. Let's see. So in the top of the AI command guide, you'll see a link to the extended AI command guide. If you follow that, you'll see other resources include the expanded unit def file for use with PyAI and the Notepad++ highlighter. So if you download the second link there and you go into Notepad++ and then you go to language, define your language, import, you can select the file that you downloaded. And it will color code everything. Oh, I'm sure he says dark and wind at least one time or another. And he might not say howl. Maybe he says growls, and we could cut out the G, R. He would just say owls. Really, all we need is him saying owls, and we can just add a to it. That's the big brain move. Not that he ever said fucking owls. Yeah, your files have to be called .asc3 instead of .txt to automatically associate with it. Whoa. Why even bother? Just fucking destroy my entire map, why don't you? Yeah, I don't know why you're having difficulty, though. Well, I guess if it's a giant YouTube video. What's the timestamp? S2E08, 4430, 4434. YouTube takes forever to load my fucking videos, of course. It's not because I'm streaming, by the way. This happens all the time. This is par for the fucking course. Fastest micro in the West. Oh, just that? Fastest micro in the West? Haltrix, you literally just take your text file and you rename it to .asc3. Like, I take, like in this case, tileset.txt. There you go, it's an ASC3 file. It's really simple. That's all you gotta do. Then you just open it back up in Notepad++ and it automatically is like that. Easy as pie. Fastest micro in the West. All right, one sec. Fastest micro in the West. Fastest micro in the West. Well, now we have that. Next time I feel like adding something to Mixer. I think the submission that I was playing in that case, that was Imperator's submission. That was the one where he had to make fun of Blizzard. I don't have any plugins for Notepad++, I don't think. What's the, what is this one in particular? What are the particulars? Oh, well, if it's just the color coding for AI, that's what we were just talking about using, yeah. And that is just a user-defined language, not a plugin. Where can I put this? Right here. Perfect. Okay. Do I want them to use arbiters? Maybe. All right. So that's that. We're pretty much finalizing away the last of the level design here. Like, this area needs some work. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet. But I don't think it'll really require that much messing around. Do a blend for that later. You recalled them that .asc3 and you imported the language in your XML, like your you went to language, define your language, import, and when you're looking at it, do you see an extension where it says .asc3 in there? But yeah, if you need a temporary thing is just to go down to language and click ASC3 when it's there. But it's much more convenient if you can get it to work automatically with everything. You closed and reopened Notepad++. Can I get a screenshot of you with your file open and with the language thing dropped it down? Language menu. Well, you have something loaded. What do you have loaded when you click the language menu? Is there anything there? When you click language, the keel menu, it says ASC3. Like this is marked. And when you go into keywords list, this is all filled out. All this information is here. It's mostly in here, but there's like some stuff over here, for example. Have you tried setting it to some other language? Like if you go to shell, and then you go back to ASC3, does it do anything different? Go to Style Configurator and make sure that yours looks similar to mine. It seems like something's overwriting it, so you probably have a global font or a global color or something enabled. The only thing I have is global background color, so just use that. Oh yeah, I should probably show you that as well. This is what it looks like. There's no change at all. The only way I can tell that he's loaded something is because this extra bar is here, which only shows up when you have that. Like this bar to the right of the number. Not foreground color, background. If you enable global foreground, that's what is going to override it. So if you tick that off, it should work. Assuming that's ticked on in the first place. So it's working now? I added that to the document anyways. Hopefully that will help other people who couldn't get it to work, if any other people exist who use this stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't think about that because it's been so long since I've even had to open that up, but glad we got it working at the end of the day. Always nice. So I definitely want an expansion over here. I just don't really know where to put it, I guess. I guess it could be up against this little strip. Do that. Trying to think of the economy and, like, even though there are a fuck ton of expansions on this map, I have to account for all 8 players possible to play in StarCraft being on the map, so. Wait, what do you mean? What's unfair? Oh, no, don't worry about it. I mean, that's half the reason I do these streams anyways, is to encourage other people to mod, so. As long as it's not something that's, that takes a really long time. Like, this only took, like, you know, what, 10 minutes to do the AI script explanation and the... I don't know, it wasn't really that long of a time, I don't think. I just didn't feel like it, so. Maybe if I'm closer to the deadline and I still need to do a lot of work, I might, you know, not have the same amount of time to dedicate to that sort of thing, but I don't have any issues doing it. I do it with anybody else who has issues or problems or needs help, even when I only have 4 hours, so, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, that would have been fine anyways. I would have been okay without that, even with that, rather. But the main problem was that on top of those streams, I also had to, like, my mother's birthday was that week, and I was spending a fair bit of time with my other family as well, so it was like a perfect storm. Yeah, I don't have any issues helping people out in that sense. Yeah, that was the biggest thing this week, or this past week. My original plan did not quite work out there. What a wacky fucking asteroid that turned out to be. Emphasis on the ass. Oh, yeah. One of them big booty types. That did not work out as intended. There we go. Beautiful. Looking good. Looking sharp.
You have been raised up from brutality.
You?
To kill the brutals who multiply and are legion. Go forth and kill.
Sounds like a bossy kind of guy over there, huh? Giving me orders. How about you do it? You actually. As a matter of fact. Alright. So I think we're looking pretty sharp here, like I mentioned. You know, we got that expansion over there that we'll handle eventually. We might expand out a little bit more or something. Maybe a high ground one over here. Would not hurt. Excuse me. You. kind of thinking maybe there should be a bridge here. I don't like forcing players to walk down large, like long corridors, basically. Like even this is kind of, I'm a little sketchy of, which I think we can sort of rectify a little bit just by adding a ramp over here. Like a small one. Well, small compared to the others that I usually add. And then... I don't know, maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Just so that there's a little bit more going on in that area. Whereas in this case, I feel like we can just slap a bridge here. I was thinking maybe there could be a bridge to this high ground as well. It might even work out, actually. Initially, I thought maybe there would be too much, like, it would cheapen the purpose of that area, but, like, the expansion that's there. Now that I think about it, I feel like maybe it would be okay. I can always remove it later on if I so desire. Cool. We did that. Yeah, I feel like we're much closer to a complete map now. It's a psycho amount of resources, but... Actually, there's even room for, like, plenty more, too, which is the funny part. Like, I still don't have this area entirely final. I'm starting to wonder if this is actually too small of a map for an 8-player, like, free-for-all, basically. But maybe it's not. The bottom area definitely feels a lot more congested. Because assuming that this Protoss player arrives, I might even put him over on the right side instead. Since it's an identical base layout anyways, it's a little bit of symmetry there. I might even put him over there instead, just because, like, the Dominion are obviously over here. Like that probably makes the most sense actually to swap their placements. You got the Zerg, got your initial players. This Protoss AI showing up partway through the map would be best if it did so over here, since that way the Dominion can try to take this area a little bit more aggressively. And then you've got like the Dominion backup fleet coming in over here. Just thinking maybe there should be another expansion somewhere up here. Like I might even do something like this where I remove this area, right? And I make like a very small island expansion with the dirt. Very small asteroid, like do that real quick so that I can say that I added that. Okay. Oh. That works. All right. Okay. Well, I think with that, just slap some Mineralus over here. And we'll be good to go. Of course. Only barely. Oh, fuck. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you be able to? E. See, the problem is I wanted to put a gas on here. Okay. We'll have to shift the accessory terrain around here a little bit as well. But I still believe it's feasible. So you can fit a command center or whatever, but you can't really fit anything else. I gotta admit. That's gonna be a tight fucking squeeze, man. Like, just imagine what we could actually throw here, right? Command center? Missile turret? This, you can't build there. Missile turret. Alright, it's secure. It's about as fucking secure as it's gonna get. But you know, there's something very quaint about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. But I kind of really like it, to be honest. Sometimes it's really, it's just good to have little shit like that going in your favor. Looking nice. Good job, man. Beautiful. Oh no. Well, another day, another almost 4-hour stream where we got a lot of work done. Just look at this beauty. Oh, man. All right. So as per the stream schedule that currently resides in the Manifest Todd, tomorrow will be another one of these in the morning and an Insurrection stream in the evening or afternoon. After this stream concludes, which will be very shortly, I will be writing out and recording the Retribution review. So expect that later on today. Otherwise, you will definitely be seeing me tomorrow for a double feature. Insurrection is actually going to be we're going to be running that 3 days in a row, with Wednesday being a day where I'm not going to be doing Mapcraft mod streams, but I will be working with Insurrection that day. And then Thursday being the other double feature, where we'll have another Mapcraft mod stream in the morning, Insurrection in the afternoon. Maybe we'll complete that one in 3 streams as well. And then we've got Friday and Saturday, of course, the last mod stream. Unless I still need to do some work and I feel like streaming the development of it Saturday morning, but that's unlikely. And Saturday at noon, my time, the submissions are due. We'll be getting them on. So, look forward to seeing you guys there. You feel your submission is trash? Me too, dude. It's okay. The name of the contest, the name of this event, it's Mapcraft. I expect a full fucking toilet. So thanks for watching, thanks for crapping, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!